Aries, Aries rising, and Aries moon people. This is your weekly astrological and card forecast for the week starting January 2nd, 2017. Happy New Year, everybody. Quick reminder for you guys to remember, on the 8th is when we start the tarot tutorship courses online, so if you want to sign up for those, you do need to go to my website, integrativemysticism.com, and reserve your spot. I'll be sending out handouts and coursework and all kinds of stuff towards the end of this week, so you definitely want to be enrolled so you can receive that and all the info on how to log into the class and where it's going to be and all kinds of good stuff. So I look forward to seeing you there. And of course, again, if you are interested in even getting a session, all of this stuff is available at my website, integrativemysticism.com. So, what is going on with the astrology this week for the Aries people? Well, we've got the Sun and Mars in a sextile for the vast majority of midweek. And this is happening between Capricorn, your 10th house of career, and Pisces, your 12th house, your privacy zone, your hidden zone. And in spite of Mercury retrograde, there will actually be some private discussions going on with an authority figure about actually elevating your position at work. And remember, with the Sun in your 10th house, it's all about getting more out of your work, getting more out of the job that you do, getting more out of your career, and in a sense, working towards that promotion, or at least, getting the points, getting the attention to get towards that promotion. And a lot of this with Mars is going to be happening behind closed doors. We may be actually setting the work in motion to get us some kind of raise or some kind of promotion down the road if we're looking for that, or possibly even entertaining a new job opportunity that would feel like a promotion or a rise up later on in the month. We also have later on this week Mercury retrograde sliding back into Sagittarius, and I mentioned this for a brief period in the monthly horoscopes, but I'm going to mention it again. And it's going back into Sagittarius, into your 9th house, your area of higher education, broadcasting, travel, government and legal proceedings, as well as anything to do with, worldliness, multicultural connections and exposure. And we have a chance opportunity to retake, relive, re-experience, or perhaps even rediscuss something that was put on the table for you as far back as November 2016. Maybe it was just sort of a pie-in-the-sky idea, maybe this was, a trip, or maybe it was an educational plan, or maybe even, again, this has to do with that fast track to try and raise your position at work. If it was taken off the table, or maybe it just got brought up and nobody ever brought it up again, it's coming up again. And even though Mercury is only going to be retrograde here for like a second, it's going direct and leaving this area later on, we have a chance to finally take this chance. Even though, again, it was a little bit fleeting before, and this will get brought up again. So if you thought you missed out before, it's your second chance this week. So what is going on with your cards then, we may ask? And we're working with different tarot cards, same oracle, but different tarot cards this week, and we'll talk about that in a sec. Well, for your spiritual advice, we do have the card of the Merciful One. And, this card is talking a lot about a need to pay attention to where we need to start just letting things go. And when we talk about letting things go, it also, it can talk about forgiveness, but it's talking about just releasing old issues that either A, are not going to be solved through, conversation or rumination or, or again, reliving, but also when it comes to other people, paying attention to where people might be trying too hard to win forgiveness, to the point where, it's almost like this is just something that needs to be let go. Like, we can't have this conversation over and over and over again. The Merciful One can also talk about, letting go of your own issues, being merciful with yourself this week. Sometimes we're trying really hard to live something down. Sometimes we're trying to save face, or, maybe we did something that we feel guilty for or embarrassed for. But this week with the Merciful One, it's also about paying attention to, again, where do we need to just start letting things go? Sometimes, getting over something happens after forgiveness, not before, and that's going to be a big lesson in the interactions that you have this week. So, for your Earth sector, when it comes to your work and finances, and again, we're working with a different tarot deck this week, we've got the Hanged Man inverted, and this is from the Modern Spellcrafters Tarot. And the Hangman inverted or reversed is usually talking about paying attention to where, there is a bit of there's a need to kind of come off the fence this week. Those of you who may have been juggling too many maybe job opportunities or new potential, growth opportunities, too many different sales, too many different commitments to commit to. Maybe, we've been waffling for too long. Maybe there's a chance that some deadlines are getting pushed forward or hurried up this week. And the Hangman reversed is basically saying we have a sudden rush going on. Now, this isn't necessarily a bad rush, but with the Hangman reversed, if you have been kind of like, I don't know what job to take, I haven't responded to any of these offers, or maybe you're in a situation where you don't know if you are willing to commit to a certain career path, or you're not willing to maybe just commit even in an experimental way. The Hangman reverse is saying, Aries, we need to hurry up this week. We need to pay attention to where we don't have the luxury of taking too long. It's not necessarily a card of bad pressure, of negative pressure, but it is saying that, sometimes, the process of elimination eliminates everything, and that's not necessarily very good. Financially, with the Hangman inverted, things should be okay. Again, we're talking more about professional commitments and things. What can you stand to do or stand to be with for the test of time in terms of work this week? Because we might be noticing some things that are, that again, some offers that we had before, things we were entertaining, the expiration date is coming up. For your communications with air when it comes to your friends, your relatives, and the others in your life, we do have the Knight of Swords inverted. And there may be some clashes this week with somebody who is, most likely of an air sign persuasion, an Aquarius, a Gemini, or a Libra, or somebody with a lot of those qualities where, again, we've got some tunnel vision problems. That's usually the issue with the Knight of Swords reversed. And usually when we see the Knight of Swords reversed, a lot of these clashes, a lot of these problems have to do with the fact that one or both parties is not necessarily very good at articulating what their grievances are. And it's really hard to have conversations with a person about their problems with us, or even just with a given situation, if they don't know how to explain what they're talking about, or they don't know what they're talking about. And this card is essentially saying there is a bit of a warning, in this. Be careful about letting time and energy and possibly loyalties be tested, when we are dealing with a friend or a relative who, for all intents and purposes may actually still be upset, and that those are valid emotions. But we could make things worse trying to fix something when we don't even know what's broken, and it's kind of up to them to let us know what's really broken. And if they can't articulate it, then we need to talk about taking on this issue at a different time. We can't just try and we can't figure them out and figure it out at the same time. Not with the Knight of Swords reversed, because that's only going to make things more hostile. And if you already know that that's already going on in your life this week, it's time to make sure that things kind of stay chill and have a bit more of a break, because we don't want to have a fight with somebody unnecessarily. For your challenge this week with fire, we do have the King of Swords reversed. And again, more challenges with air signs. What is the air signs in you guys this week? The King of Swords reversed may actually be that Knight of Swords reversed. The King of Swords reversed is also talking about a person who's trying to fix a problem, but they don't want to admit their part in the problem. And this could actually be, an ongoing issue with many people. Okay? Because the King of Swords reversed is usually somebody who's trying to save face. Maybe somebody who's acting out of embarrassment, somebody who's acting out of self-consciousness. And sometimes we see this card, it talks about somebody who's in denial about something. So they're trying to cover it up really quickly, or they're trying to, again, save face. They feel embarrassed about what they did, so they want to have a quick fix, even though this might not take for a quick fix. And your challenges with the King of Swords reversed, pay attention to where we need to start getting people to be honest and, and start being accountable for themselves. Sometimes the King of Swords reversed doesn't want to be accountable. They want something to get fixed so they don't have to speak for themselves or answer for their actions. And again, if this is happening with family or with work, it could kind of cause problems for other people as well. So the first thing we got to do is get people to be less afraid of going deep and, and start being more courageous about honesty. For your emotions with water and your romantic life, we do have the Magician card reversed. Okay, and the Magician card reversed is interesting because we have somebody new for those of you who are currently single and looking, who's trying too hard to put on an impression that's not real. Now, the Magician card reversed isn't necessarily saying that this is a bad person. You know, we've all seen those movies where someone is kind of not being themselves and they're deciding they're going to try and look super cool, or they're going to try and do everything that they think the other person wants, or maybe follow some kind of outdated romantic ethic, you know, culturally. And with the Magician card reversed, it's just going to look really fake. Now, again, this is just a general forecast. This could still be actually a fairly decent person. You know, sometimes good people make dishonest mistakes when they're trying to make a good impression. So it's important to pay attention to where you might see something endearing underneath the faking, because it doesn't necessarily mean that they're always doing something bad. The same thing could happen for those of you who are currently coupled. You may notice your partner going through a bit of a strange phase where they are almost taking on a completely different personality, but they're doing it in a way that's constructive. They're not doing it in a way that's like scary or alarming. It's definitely not a threat. But what I'm feeling is that with the Magician card reversed, this may also be making, you know, this new personality or this new persona that they're donning on, you could be so high maintenance and so, you know, so time consuming that it's not actually bringing them any more happiness. And maybe it's time to have a talk with our partner about whether or not, you know, this is the way to go about, you know, getting the shift in their life that they want to have happen. So we have a lot of reversed cards here. And that basically just means that, in a very good way, we have an opportunity to turn all of these right side up. You know, this is going to be a week that demands more participation from us, and that's usually what reverse cards mean. We need to be more participating. We don't need to be anticipating and sitting back and twiddling our thumbs. You know, a lot of these people and a lot of these cards are all acting in dishonest and, you know, but at the same time very defensive ways this week. And so if we want to take down those barriers to have a real good engagement, then we need to be able to engage them and, you know, again, peel off those layers with them this week. And that's kind of a big lesson we've got to pay attention to with reverse cards. I see it a lot in a lot of readings. So that is your forecast, Aries. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please like, share, and subscribe. You know I appreciate it. And of course, if you'd like to get a session, you can always follow the links below or go to integrativemysticism.com.